So here's the list. Oops. Here's the list. Okay, so if we, where's the edge of the list? There we go. So if we go down to this page down here, where we talk about linear pairs. See, here's definition of a linear pair. Two adjacent angles are a linear pair if they're non-common sides or opposite rays. But the linear pair postulate, which I think is way down here, says if two angles form a linear pair, then the angles are supplementary.
Why doesn't the definition of linear pairs doesn't say that it's
It just doesn't. It says that the definition of linear pair means that if I have angles that look like this, then those are a linear pair because their unshared sides make a line, essentially, opposite rays, right? If we wanted to say that those angles, their sum of the measures of those angles is 180, what we'd have to do is say first they're a linear pair by definition of a linear pair, then they're supplementary by the linear pair postulate, and then what? Then what? Then we could say they add to 180 by the definition of supplementary angles. If two angles are supplementary, then we know that their sum is 180. That's the definition of supplementary, right? But we don't need to do that, though. We don't need to do that in this case. You could potentially do something like that and make it work, but we can be quicker than that. We don't need to go that far. We can just say, instead, once we get to here, we're essentially, hang on here. Yeah, we're done. There's only one more step. What is it?
The QB, the RB.
Are congruent, right? Yeah. Because by what's the reason?
By the congruent supplement theorem.
Congruent supplements theorem. Because look at this. Because these two angles, right? These two angles right here are both supplementary with that angle, right? And the congruent supplements theorem just says, once again, if two angles are supplementary with the same angle, which they are, then they must be congruent. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what if, like, on the test, we make it, like, we use different steps that make it longer, but it still gets to the same answer?
I would give you full credit or almost all full credit. I mean, you'd get, yeah, that's fine.
Wait, are we not doing the test?
as long as we kept like.
Well, this one's going to be, part of it's going to be like this, just because I feel like it has to be. The proof you have to write out. Yeah, there'll be part of the test that'll be on the computer that you can, that'll be just similar to the other computer questions you've had from this chapter. But then I'm going to have you do two proofs also. Okay. So last step would be the proof step. Angle Q VP is congruent to angle RWV by congruent supplements theorem, okay? Which is, if you want to look at it, it's just this guy right there, congruent supplements theorem. If two angles are supplementary to the same angle or to congruent angles, then they are congruent. Okay, make sense? Is this kind of filling in some gaps for you? Yes, ma'am.
If we did the longer way, would we still get the same credit, or?
I think that what I would do is make it an A, but maybe just not. To get 100%, it would be doing an efficient proof, doing one that takes fewer steps. But it'd still be a good proof, and it'd still be worth an A, to me, if you got it right. Okay.
What if we get it wrong, but you thought some of the stuff?
Then you'll get credit. Yeah. Like for example, I mean, I don't know exactly how I'm gonna step by step grade this, but if you did this proof and you had the important steps in there, but you didn't, say you didn't negotiate this properly, I'm gonna deduct some points, but it doesn't mean you get a 0 on it. I mean, it just means you get probably good credit for it.
So if we had like QVP or supplementary because last year that I did something else that wasn't right. But we still had like half the stuff.
Yeah, then I would consider that to be, mostly right, yeah. Say it again? It was going to be today, then it was going to be tomorrow, and we'll see. I'm kinda thinking it's gonna be Monday, cause I think I wanna get through all these examples today, and I think it'll bleed over into tomorrow, but I sort of feel like this is important to do. I think I maybe was rushing you a little bit.
You're not gonna get all the examples.
Yeah, I
today.
didn't understand.
We have
At least
4
I
minutes.
finished.
We only have 4 minutes?
Yeah.
We do.
Okay, well, we'll continue this tomorrow, we'll jump right in. Today was a short day, I mean, 'cause people were gone part of the day, but tomorrow we'll come in and we'll just jump right into a couple more proof examples. I'll take questions from the assignments tomorrow also, and let's plan on doing it early next week instead.
I think the hardest part is finding what the proof, like I can see where it is, I just gotta look through it.
Yep, and you'll get familiar with it. You'll get real familiar with that list in a hurry.
Are we gonna be adding more proofs to ISA materials?
Next chapter. Yeah.
What's the next chapter?